Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jonathan from the Rideshare panel, and today I'm going to be talking about how to use the Dolly Moving App as a hands or a helper and make some extra cash on the side. So I started using the Moving App about a year ago, and I picked it up after having driven for Lyft and Uber and done a couple other things as side hustles to kind of make some extra cash here and there. And I really love the on-demand economy, so Dolly fit right in with that and allowed me to make some cash, real part-time. And there are a couple reasons why I really like the app, and one of those is because you can actually make pretty good money while you're doing it. And if you're in good shape and you like kind of moving stuff around and that's not a big deal for you, then it actually turns out to be most of the time fairly easy and fairly fun work for making some good money. Alright, so when you want to get started working for Dolly, the first thing you're going to have to do is do a background check, and then you're going to have to, pass some other requirements. You got to be able to lift 50 pounds above your head, and then, take like a short quiz through Dolly, and, make sure you're ready to handle everything they're going to throw at you. But really, it's not too hard to get qualified, and once you do, you can log onto the app. So I'm actually on the app right now, and I'm getting ready to go head up to a gig kind of a little bit north of my place and make some extra cash. And so I'll show you how I do that. So when you go on the app, you can pull up a screen and you can go to open dollies and see what dollies are open around you. I also recommend using like the push notifications, because those will pop up on your screen and show you when something pops up in your area, and that way you know right away, because the good stuff gets taken quickly. And in Dolly, it's really about finding the right gigs, because you can find stuff where people ask you to move like 2 refrigerators and a treadmill, and you're not going to last long if you take all of those, because you're probably going to hurt yourself, or you're just going to hate it and you're going to quit. But that said, there's a lot of moving that's not actually that physically demanding, or maybe it is physically demanding, but it's just in your arena of stuff that you're able to lift or like able to do. And I usually pick those up, and I actually make really good money doing it. I took one a little bit earlier, and I made $57, and it took a little bit under an hour to do. So it's all about finding the right gig. So when you open up the app and you find the open dollies section, you just want to scroll down there and find stuff, and they're listed under how many hours you're going to be working or how many total items you're going to be moving. And so you really want to read through the description and see what exactly you're going to be doing, and gauge how long that's going to take you, how much work it's going to take, and if it's going to be worthwhile. Another thing I like about it is it shows you the starting point and the end point, so you always know what you're getting yourself into. Whereas with like Lyft and Uber, they have the destination filters, but you don't always know like where you're going to end up. So you pull up an app, you choose your dolly, and then you got to kind of like swipe to start it about 20 minutes ahead of time when you leave to like head towards the dolly. So you'll get there, you'll meet the customer, and then they'll kind of show you through the move. You'll move everything, hopefully it goes smoothly. You don't want to damage anything in their house, because all of your payout is kind of leveraged as insurance. So if you do create damage and the customer complains, then they can pull that out of your paycheck and your tips for the last week. So you want to be super careful with that stuff. I've never had an issue with it, and I don't think it's a huge issue for people, but it's something to keep in mind. So you go through the whole gig, and then you'll kind of close out in the app, and the customer will give you a rating, and then they'll tip you through the app. And a lot of times people tip really well on this stuff, because they're moving something that they wouldn't have been able to do themselves. Like when you're giving someone a ride, or like a Lyft ride or an Uber ride, sometimes it seems like it's just so nonchalant that a big tip's not necessary. But with Dolly, people are generally really friendly about tipping, so you can make a lot of extra cash there and do pretty well. Dolly, you have the option to sign up either as a hands or a helper, and the difference is a helper has a truck and the hands is just there, being the meat stick and moving stuff. I actually use it just as a hands. I show up to help move stuff, and I really like doing it that way. It's advertised that you make $15 an hour, but as I'll explain later, you can actually make quite a bit more than that if you just select the right gigs. So using it as a hands, you'll just show up to a dolly, and if it's 2 hands, 2 people, helping people move stuff, and you're just like staying within a house or an apartment and you're not actually trucking anything, then the 2 hands will split that gig 50-50, and they'll each get 50% of the total. So doing it that way, you can make pretty good money right off the bat. Or if you do a normal dolly where you're going to be moving between 2 locations, then it'll be 1 helper and 1 hands usually. And the way that's split up is the helper, who has the truck, makes 65% of the total commission, and the hands takes 35%. So doing it that way, you know, it's definitely beneficial to be a helper, obviously, because you've got the truck and you know, that's way more valuable than just being there and having the muscle. But as a hands, you can still choose gigs that fall under that category and make pretty good money. You know, just you want to check to make sure that you're not going to be driving too far, because that's really when something, you know, sometimes it becomes a time thing where like maybe it's not moving that much stuff, but you're going to get stuck in traffic. So as long as you're selective there, you can make a lot of money doing it just as a hands. Check on their website, see if it's near you, and then sign up using my referral code if you want to sign up. That way you get $50 when you sign up, and I also get $50. Just put my name down, Jonathan Whitney, as a referrer, and get yourself that extra cash bonus.